we're doing. If you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. So, we're doing our 1,000-day listings. We're on to a very special segment here where we talk about McDonald's toys. Now, if you've been watching the last year, I've been making videos. I throw these in the trash religiously because I have a lot of them. So when we talk about supply and demand, the supply of McDonald's toys is astronomical. People will list these because they bought their kid a Happy Meal and they're looking to make $1 back. I don't know, but and the demand is there. I mean, there are people that collect just McDonald's toys and they don't care what they are. And then you have the crossover of people that collect all Transformers or all Beanie Babies, whatever. But the supply far exceeds the demand. So over the years, I have listed some and I have sold some, but I have gotten way more on my shelf than I want. So today we're going to figure out what we're going to do with all these. Break that down, and I don't know how many I have, but we're about to find out, and it's probably a depressingly large amount. Now, first up, we're just going to be looking at my Transformers McDonald's toys. So how McDonald's works is every month it's a new toy. So any intellectual property that has been released in the history of Transformers has probably had a McDonald's crossover. And even if nothing comes out, they'll probably still do Transformers just cause. It's something they can throw in. I don't know how the rights work, if McDonald's gets paid to have the toys to drum up excitement, or I don't know. But anyways, there's no shortage of these. So this is what I got. I have an Optimus Prime from 2016. These strong arms. This guy, Fracture, Bumblebee, all from around the same time, and grand total of views is 2 in 1,000 days. I have 3 watchers on this, and I don't know why. I'm guessing I'm missing something. There's no way this is rare. But yeah, so we're not getting any traction here, so let's just transform. That's not correct. Hold on. I'm just gonna look at McDonald's Transformers. And that's 6,000, which is actually less than I thought, but that's pretty specific at any rate. Now, like vintage McDonald's toys, like stuff like this from the 80s does sell. But the stuff that's only a few years old, if my general rule of thumb when doing this, if it's not 20 years old, I throw it away. So 6,000 McDonald's Transformer toys. And we got 900 sold, but if you look, it's the one I just pointed at. The vintage ones. 2,000. Call it vintage, whatever, still in the package. It's the transforming food. It's not even themed as Transformers. So in reality, it is significantly less than what you're thinking. Yeah, we're not seeing any of these guys, so we're gonna have to adjust this. Transformers, and we'll do 2016. 800. And here we got that Bumblebee that I got on the desk here. And they're selling it at a loss. And they still have it. This guy's missing a sword, selling it at a loss. I'm not about that. I'm about getting rid of it at this point. So 850. 17 sold of this year. And that is everything on the desk. 15 is the Fracture one that people are looking at for some reason. So we got 230. Here's Fracture for 850. And I don't know why mine's not selling if people are looking at it. So 230, 7, and 1 fracture in the bag sold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my garbage can. So and that's what we do with Transformers McDonald's. I'll sell through that low, there's absolutely no point. And those aren't new, those are fairly old. Almost 10 years old. So, yeah, so much for that. There's no redeeming that. And you know, I could do lots, but I'm not going to bother. At a sell-through that small, I'll just have the lot in a bag forever. So we're making some room today. That's what we're doing. All right, what else we got? A few more for consideration. My objective here today is I have 2 bins of McDonald's stuff, and I want to have 1 bin of McDonald's stuff, if that. I have a lot of it, and I have to go through it and figure out what's going to do what here. So we have this guy, and I have a few more I could dig out, but this is a McDonald's Bionicle. And I have sold these, but I don't know why the ones I have do not necessarily sell. So that one's been around for 1,000 days. I have another one that's been around for 900 days. So 1,600 McDonald's Bionicles. Now, some of them have parts, so that makes sense. This is this guy here. This is with a lot of 3 for 14 bucks. He doesn't have parts. He has, you know, this could be a pain point. It could break. Otherwise, he looks fine. So, 1,600 on Bionicles. And 250 sold. So that's significantly better than the Transformers ones. Bionicle had a cult following when it came out. That was fairly new in, you know, like when I was in high school. Like, if you're still into Legos and building and STEM stuff, you would do that. It's still around. I don't know. I think maybe the app stuff has taken over, but you know, 250. I'm not seeing necessarily that guy though. So see if we can find some more examples. We'll go 2006 and narrow this down. All right, 450 on the 2006 ones. 38 sold, which is not spectacular, but it's not irredeemable. But these are all lots. And I don't have lots, and I don't want to be bothered with this. These are large lots. These are full sets, in fact, a lot of these. So I don't have any in the bag. I don't have any. It doesn't look like any of these are particularly rare. I don't know why these 2 sold. I don't have either of them. So I think for Bionicles, we're just going to toss those 2. Actually, I'll give these to my kids because they'll probably be entertained with them. All right, so we do have few in the bag. We're going to look these up and get an idea. The easy thing when they're in the bag is it's the peak condition, of course, and it's numbered. This is Country Bears, which is an intellectual property I didn't know existed until just now. Country Bears 5. So this is our guy, Tennessee O'Neill. Put Tennessee. Rather than 5 and C. 83. We got 83 Tennessee O'Neills. And we got the peak condition guy here, but nobody's looked at it. 83 for sale. And 0. 0 of these have sold. So Tennessee O'Neill will be going in the garbage. And I kind of suspect that's where we're going with all of this. This is from Disney Pixar's Soul, which is a movie that I don't think anybody watched. My kids have never mentioned it, so number 2. Or we can just put Mr. Mittens. All right, 167. And again, he's in the bag. 167. 1. So that's gone. Last in the bag, we have Beanie Babies. And Beanie Babies are where people learned, sometimes, in some cases for the first time, they got into reselling what supply and demand really is. Beanie Babies became a thing when I was a teenager. It became an obsession. Supply through the roof, demand far past it until it all crashed. As soon as people started dropping their collections, they are valueless. And McDonald's got in on it, and these became outrageously popular. I don't know which year this is. 98. So this is the peak. But because they knew that, the supply of this is got to be higher than any McDonald's toy ever. Is the demand there? I'm kind of guessing because I'm holding this. No. So we got McDonald's TY inch. Worm. Oh, why does this shifted kind of weird? Anyways, so 1,800. I think it's just picking up because I put TY. McDonald's, we'll do inch toy. Now we're getting dimensions. We'll try beanie toe inch. 17. Yeah, I mean, this is the best we're going to be able to do. This person's selling it to lose $1, and they still got it. 17 of these, 1,700 for sale, 100 sold. But again, this is going to be lots. These are new in bag and selling it to lose 50 cents. This somebody, made 30 cents. Out of the bag, somebody sold one. That doesn't make any sense. They must not have known what they're buying. All right, I think we've whittled this box down enough. We can consolidate. Let me see. If not, we're gonna do some more. But and we can review these in a few months, maybe. But yeah, I got one bin empty. That's good. That means I can fill this bin with something else. So the last one I had, which was weird, is this guy. And it's weird because I have him listed for like way too much money, and I don't understand why I did that. There has to be a reason. Because generally I would just list it for 8, but I have him listed for 12. So he is the Abominable Snowman. So here he is, 926. Now I guess there's a few different ones throughout the years. We'll put ink and try to narrow that down. So 87. And I have them listed for 12. So this really explains why nobody looked. But I don't know if it's worth relisting price-wise or just throwing them out. And I have no idea what I was thinking. There had to have been a decent reason for it, but yeah. I mean, this guy down here is 13. But nobody is 12. So 87 for sale. 5 sold. And I'm not understanding the correlation here. I don't know if there's a limited edition one. They all look the same. Like the angle's kind of weird on some of them. The fact is that they're sitting here. So I could list him for 7, and maybe will go, but he also has a stain on his chin. So I think we're just going to throw him up. So, we salvaged nothing from this episode other than we emptied out a bit. Sometimes that's all we can do, right? We can't win all the time. I don't add to this bin hardly. I do take out of it occasionally. But like what I do have left in here for this stuff is like Lion King, which is a decent intellectual property. Pokemon and different Bondi stuff, which has a following outside of McDonald's toy culture, and then like real vintage stuff like this guy. This horse kicks. Oh, he's a wind-up horse. And you know, maybe in a few months we'll be going through some more of these, but that's okay. We knocked out a few older listings. That's good enough for me. So if you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.